Hello my fellow creators and welcome to my YouTube channel. It is the second of the month, which means it's time for the SheetLoad creative team to share our version of this month's SheetLoad of cards. Now, the SheetLoad of cards is a sketch, cutting guide, and full supply list provided free to all of Call Me Crafty Al's subscribers. I will be sure to link to Call Me Crafty Al's channel in the description box below. On the first of the month, Alicia of the Call Me Crafty Al channel shares the newest sketch. On the second of the month, Alicia shares a full process video showing how she uses the sketch, including any tips or tricks she may have. The creative team also shares our version of how we use this SheetLoad of cards sketch on the second of the month. Now there will be a link to a playlist in the description box below so that you can follow along with all of the creative team members for the July 2025 SheetLoad of cards sketch. If you'd like to play along with this month's SheetLoad sketch, please be sure to use the hashtags on the sketch when sharing on social media. This way we can see what all our crafty friends have made. Now, the sketch does share what supplies are needed, how many cards it will yield, and this month it yields 12. The dimensions, in case you want to make one card instead of the full batch, plus alternatives or other ways to use the sketch, such as rotating or flipping the sketch. Now, page 2 is your cutting guide, so it tells you how to cut your pattern paper and any cardstock you may need. Now, this month's sketch is actually a companion to the June 2025 edition. Now in June we made this sketch but as an A7 card. So we made a 5x7 card which was inspired by Bitty Penny. So this month we're doing our A2 version of that sketch. Now if you saw my video from last month's SheetLoad, you'll remember that I mentioned that I was going to use a paper, this one here, that had all the lemons on it for another SheetLoad. So I decided to save this for the July sketch, which is exactly what I did. So let me show you what I made. So I did use that sheet of lemon paper. Now this month's SheetLoad, you needed 2 sheets of 12 by 12 paper. So I did add a second sheet and I was able to make my 12 cards. So let me get these out of here and show you what I made. So this is the second piece of paper I used. Let me show you with one of the scraps I had left what it looks like. So it was this paper, and then the reverse side was this kind of a tealy color. And then this lemon paper that I used, the reverse side was this green. Now, I did follow the sketch pretty closely. And what I did this month to space apart my smaller pieces is I brought in the branding strip that I cut off and I used that as my spacer. So I lined it up on my card. Let me show you here. And then I put my smaller pieces there so that they were lined up. So I decided to make these all birthday cards. And I stamped this happy birthday sentiment using some of my Gina K Wild Dandelion ink. And the sentiment is from this stamp set from the Not Too Shabby shop. It is Blooming Sentiments. I'll link to anything that I can still find that's available in the description box below. Now, for my images, I started by pulling in this sticker sheet, but then I realized, you know what, most of these images are just too big for this smaller area here. And then I grabbed my scraps of the lemon paper here and I just fussy cut a bunch of the lemons out. And that's what I used as my images on my cards. So some of them had a single lemon, some had double lemons. And when I ran out of lemons on my scrap pieces of this paper, I went back to my pack of paper and pulled out another sheet. And see, I fussy cut out some more lemons from this sheet. So those were my ephemera, so to speak, for my cards. Now, because I did use the scraps of the lemon paper all up, I didn't have too much left to do like long strips. So what I did was, with the scraps I did have left, I had enough to make these little banners on the inside. And then I did the same for this one, even though I had more pattern paper. In fact, let me show you what I had left. this is what I had left of the pattern paper. So really not much. And I like that. I like when we don't have too many leftover pieces. So it's pretty good. So as you can see, I did make the full set of 12, and they all have lemons and that happy birthday sentiment. And I thought that the lemons went well with the other pattern paper as well, because it had lemons on it as well. So I wanted to carry that theme through all of my cards, and that's exactly what I did. They're all happy birthday cards. They all have those lemon pieces of ephemera, so to speak, on them. And then they all have that little banner on the inside. Oh, and I also added a matte layer to this larger piece of pattern paper. I know the sketch doesn't call for that matte layer, but I kind of like having that matte layer to differentiate between the pattern paper here and the one here. And oh, one more thing that I did. I popped up this piece on some foam tape. Let me see if you could tell. You could tell a little bit. And for that, what I did is I'm going through my stash to try and finish up all the little random foam adhesives that I have. So I had several packs of these little square adhesives from the Dollar Tree. So I just put those all over the back of this piece, and my oh my, was that time consuming to get each of the release papers off those individual little squares. But I did it. So I'm proud of myself for using up what was in my stash, or using some of what was in my stash, to make my 12 cards for the July 2025 Sheetload of Cards sketch. Thanks for sticking around to the end. I'd be thrilled if you subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on any of my other social media platforms. As always, have a beautiful, safe, and creative day. Thanks for watching. Bye.